Thanks for being with us, and let's keep pushing for a world where truth and empathy lead the way. We'll see you again on another episode of Third Side Convo. Thank you. Right over my head. Right over right over my head. Yeah.
I didn't mean
It's
to do
okay.
that, Bob.
Don't worry about it.
I
Who
know.
cares?
Get people to use Google to find out about the Armenian genocide. I love that idea.
Yeah, true. Just one of many around World War One.
Holy
there's
cow!
one or
What
two
a show.
movies. There's one or two movies, Bob, that refer to it that are worth watching.
Okay.
What is that?
What?
I'll have to look them up. I'll look. I don't know off the top of my head. I can't remember. No, I'm serious though. There's a recent movie, and I'm just trying to remember.
Well, what you can do is I sent an email, or Joe Boy sent an email that included all of y'all, or I think I did. No, I didn't. Actually, I did not send one. I usually will send out one a little earlier. I got way late today because what was funny was actually Ted and I, Joe Boy wanted to have a different title to the show. And so I called Ted and I said, help me with Joe Boy. And he did. Okay. And so we basically kind of came to what we got.
Told me to shut up and sit down. And
yeah, exactly.
My opinions don't matter.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. I think we're going to try to bring in a couple of the Zoom people, see what they thought.
We're going to try to bring them in. Just give me a minute here. I'm trying.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Testing.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
There's a Netflix movie called The Promise.
The
Okay.
The Promise is good.
The Promise is on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. We're going to bring Tiberius in. Tiberius, for those that don't know, of course, is Joe Boy's son.
That's me.
Well, I think Jeff probably even knows that. Okay.
Joe Boy wanted to make something about kill all Jews. I said, you're going to open up a can of worms. Do you want the Aryan nation coming in and joining in your, you got to be careful.
Podcast, exactly.
Yeah, and you got to be careful on that clickbait stuff.
Okay, to be understandably clear, I don't want to say that we're encouraging the idea of killing all Jews. Please don't misinterpret the statement. The statement is we are having an issue with getting people to pay attention to our conversations and what's going on. And so my question is, what will it take for Iran to be happy besides killing all the Jews? And I was hoping that we could get a soundbite that had the word killing all the Jews, and then Larry could correct us and say they just want to kill everyone in Israel. But either way, having the soundbite where people will hear that words will get them to pay attention, because no one's listening. No one gives a crap about what's going on because it's some administration doing this and this, that, and the other. You take a look at what the news is doing, and they're not complaining about it. They're just saying, hey, it's another war, and no one's doing anything, and oh, they're idiots. No one's realizing this. The goal is genocide. And when they're done with killing everyone in Israel, they're going to kill everyone somewhere else. So it's just one stepping stone, and we're going, oh, it's okay. It's no big deal.
When genocide takes place, Larry said that. That's how the religion.
Well, the clip on the news is the opening of their parliament where they're burning the American flag, chanting "Death to America."
Please burn American flag.
But everybody does that, man.
As you said, it's coming, so we're okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not okay with it. It's just one of those where, unfortunately, certain people have been complacent with it. But the hard part is it's trying to be able to sit there and really decipher on what is it to take to where Iran, what do you want to where you will stop? You know what I mean? Not only that, though, but more importantly, though, what would it take for you to stop your nuclear program?
Okay, so Donald, what do you think about all this?
Well, I think it's just a simple fix, kind of fix like anything else, or like what we do here on the Third Side Convo. It's for people to stop being arrogant and thinking that they're better than everybody else and saying, hey, look, we're countries, especially now that the world is changing and the world depends on environmental and all the stuff in the world. We got stuff going on in this world that's changing every day. So I think we're trying to look at, let's put our differences aside. How can we help each other? And I don't think Iran was ever brought to the party to even ask, can we help you guys? It's always been because they've been on the other side. Let's bring them to the party and give them a chance to prove themselves. There's almost 2 million of Iran Americans that live here in the United States. And they're not violent. They're not violent. They're not tearing down the cities and everything else like some of these other people are. So there's something there. There's
Most
something good about Iran. So let's look at that area. That's the first place to start. Let's look what can you contribute to the world that we all can get behind.
I
So
didn't call them Democrat protesters. I just said that, you know,
yeah,
they
but
were
they're not
different in
all
what their
committing
desires
crimes.
are, which is the elimination of everyone in Israel. Now, by all means,
Most
do you think someone who wants to get rid of everyone in Israel should have a nuclear weapon?
Well, they're,
Most of
they're
those Iranians call themselves Persians. They distance themselves from their country because they don't agree with the people who run it.
Okay, Tiberius, what are your thoughts on this?
The Iranian people to wear it because they're very muted on the information that they're able to receive because obviously their government, closes down their various forms of networks where they can receive outside influence. I think that it has to be difficult for those people to make an independent assessment because they don't have all of the information presented to them that like we have. They don't have the capabilities that we do to make an informed decision on looking at both sides, being able to sit there and say, okay, well, let me Google this and try to viewpoint this on both sides. They don't have those capabilities.
Did you just imply Google was going to be the answer? Okay, I got to hear what does
just
think.
Oh,
What does Tiberius think? We'll ask ChatGPT me in a minute.
No.
go ask Tiberius.
You know what I mean? The Iranian people, though, I mean, it's very difficult, especially when you guys were sitting there and talking about particular uprising that with regards to for their own people, they don't have the resources, they don't have the information available to them. It's my understanding, and or no, maybe I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that they are very limited on the information that they're able to receive. So in order for them to make informed decisions on their own, they're only getting, a quarter of the pie. They're not getting all of it.
Iran arrested 700 people, accusing them of ties with Israel during this 12-day war.
Yeah, that's your problem. If you stand up and be counted in Iran, you won't be standing up very long. Tiberius, let's get the youth vote on this one, or the youth perspective.
I really want to know what exactly is the point of this war, and what's exactly the point of the ceasefire? Because what I'm seeing is that it's a religion-based war. That the Iranians have a Muslim of the Twelvers. That the 12th Imam is going to come once the land is decimated and all of the Jews are dead. Now, Jeff and Larry, you're both Jews, right?
Correct.
So if that has to happen, the 12th Imam is never going to come because I don't think we want Jeff or Larry dead. Now, do we? So now,
I'll take it.
So my question is, what's the point of this ceasefire? Because this current administration is kind of just waiting for, their point to end. They're waiting for the administration to end to pass it on to the next administration. And that's when it's going to end unless they have the same exact thoughts as the current administration does. Because this is never going to end this way through a ceasefire.
Yeah, the point of the war is to keep Iran, or to slow down Iran developing nukes. That's the reason this specific war this time happened.
That's part of it, right?
But what is Iran's problem with Israel?
It's been a history.
Iran. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Iran ain't the only one that hates Israel, and there's other countries. I mean, there's genocides all over the world happening in other different countries and stuff. This is in people's faces. So it's this specific war to these guys, because they've been fighting for eons since we can beginning, and it's probably over something that happened stupidly a long time ago, and just get back to that. So and it just escalated over the years, over the centuries.
Tiberius, basically, Iran doesn't recognize Israel's right to exist. It has to go back after World War II, and Israel was formed. A lot of people were kicked out of the country. Right. Israel claims that it's their religious homeland. It goes back 2,000 years. So there you go.
Yeah.
So what is the answer? Is the answer getting rid of everyone out of Israel so that Iran can be happy? or getting Iran to back down and say, you know what, maybe people have the right to exist?
Ask
Well,
Larry
again,
about how to change religious views. That's what you got to do. Good luck.
Ask
Well,
what the
the important
Twelvers
thing
think
is
about
that-
that.
Yeah,
is
no.
is the Iranian people and the Israeli people have a lot in common. It's the IRGC that's the problem, not
Republican Guard.
Iran per se.
Yeah, the
It's
Republican Guard.
the people that took over the country in the 70s. That's who's at issue here, not Iran per se.
Well,
Exactly.
if Israel put down their weapons, they'd be wiped out. If Iran put down their weapons, nothing would change because Israel's not going after them,
Right.
except for
That's-
when they're trying to build a nuclear weapon to kill Israel.
Except
Well,
you
fill
don't-
in the blank. That's a lot of places.
Yeah.
Joe, they've been talking
Personally,
about it. It's never really been proven. So
I think they already have a weapon.
When you're sitting there and you have, you know what I mean, what is it, the uranium? I mean, when there's only going to be so many purposes that there's going to be for it, especially if you're utilizing it in that type of capacity and that type of quantity.
Okay.
Well, I'll say this. Syria never developed a weapon after Israel bombed their facility. Iraq didn't get to develop a weapon before that country changed because after Israel bombed their
they
facility.
never have one.
But there is a history to
Okay, but
this
Ted's point
happening.
could be valid. He's saying that we have no proof that they were ever even close to getting a nuclear weapon anywhere. So here's the question then. What will be enough proof besides a mushroom cloud over Israel? What will be enough proof?
We have proof that they were enriching uranium beyond any other use but weapons.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you sit
Yeah,
there
what
and
were they using it for?
particular ingredient, I mean, how many other purposes are there?
And if you
There aren't any.
you put power. If you
Exactly.
go back
So,
to
I mean,
1963,
Right.
LBJ went to Iran and we gave them a nuclear reactor because we wanted them to develop another form of energy and make them like us a lot because we wanted them to keep an eye on the Middle East because they were the most modern monarchy we had there, most modern Muslim country there. We thought
So
they
what
were
happened?
ones.
They
How
were.
did they change from being modern to what they're doing now?
Religious fanatics.
Religious fanatics and people being being greedy and everything else. I mean, what?
And you have
I-
that's easily corrupted as well as controlled by the Republican Guard. When there was the Green Revolution 10 years ago throughout Tunisia and Egypt and in Iran, the Republican Guard hired people to go out on motorcycles and shoot people in demonstrations with machine guns.
Right.
That's the
They
only
missed out
Republic
on the
Guard.
Arab Spring, didn't they?
What's that? Would you
They
say?
missed out on the Arab Spring in Iran.
The Arab Spring, yeah. The point is we wanted to foment uprising and we could never get any traction on it.
No, when we were talking about that earlier,
Because they shoot
the way you help the Iranian people overthrow the government is the old-fashioned way, like we used to do in Central America. I don't know that it would work nowadays, but you arm them, you give them weapons,
Absolutely. Civil war.
but no, people aren't willing to do that nowadays. Especially Americans are not willing to do that.
People go to jail for it sometimes. That's why.
Well, that was when Congress says you're not, votes not to do it, you're not supposed to do it.
Yeah, you're on Contra. Exactly.
Yeah, that was money for.
And the money we got for that, by the way, was to fund that because the Congress wouldn't give us money. We sold missiles to
Mujahideen.
there you go. For money to fund the Contras in Central America. Go ahead.
But we
I really want
abandoned
to help
this.
Tiberius get an answer to his question. So besides handing Iran more money, which previous administrations have done that, let's keep paying them off. What other ways can we do to politely request they not make nuclear weapons besides bombing them?
The only way to make Iran do what you want is the stick because they don't have a carrot. So sanctions are the only way that Iran behaves.
And then they get around them going through Russia. And that's why Russia takes all their drones and uses them on Ukraine.
Now,
Well,
you
but
all
the-
think that when that attack occurred, that China and Russia might have seen that bomb coming? Did they see some of those stealth bombers, or were they shocked when all of a sudden there was a large number of holes in Iran and said, "Oh crap, what happened?"
They didn't have to. Somebody dictated the whole damn thing.
Yeah, but no one ever believes the current administration and whatever they're talking about.
But-
They assume must be a joke.
But still,
Even Hexas admitted that there was satellite views of big trucks outside these nuclear facilities 2 days before the attack, and they said a lot of the materials taken away. That appears to be true. So now you get the effectiveness of it all. I think symbolic.
I don't know. I mean, you would have
That's
to
right.
start.
You know where the uranium is?
I don't believe the Iranians for a second.
The uranium is in Israel. Okay,
It's 2 billion
Nobody
calories
talk
per
about it.
gram.
if
Oh,
you
really?
they've already taken it out.
Hijacked it.
Oh, absolutely. You
Hey,
think all the stuff was done and they wouldn't hijack it? Come on.
they just took the clue. They took the clue from you know who.
Oh, you really believe
When-
that? Wow. Do you have any
When,
indication?
when
Why-
you know who said when you know who said
It's not on
in-
TMZ. That's
when
for
you
sure.
know when you know who said in 2 weeks I'll do it, that was a sign for Iran. Hey, we got to do something about this. In 2 weeks, something's coming. So that was a hint, you know.
Exactly.
That was
And
a hint,
we're
brother.
still
2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Oh, Iran said, "Oh shit, you need to do something." He lying. Let's go. You need to move, man. That was the hint right there, bro. That was the hint.
There has been a very effective spy network in Iran. The Israelis had a very effective spy network. So you think the idea of a bunch of trucks showing up at these places prompts the Mossad to, hey,
Could have been.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he
gotta-
said,
you gotta
Did he
heads
say-
up.
Did he say
If
truck? or did he
Iran,
say something else?
if
No.
Iran got it, we would know about it. If the stuff was bombed, we would know about it from radiation. The fact that the trucks were there right before the bombing tells me that the Mossad knew, of course, when, and they went in, got the trucks, the stuff got put on a plane, and was out of there before anybody had any reports of it.
That's right.
I think that's a very viable possibility.
hell, they were
That's
they
very
probably. I'm sure Mossad leased the trucks. What do you mean? and had trackers and everything else on those things, right? Amazing. Amazing. Well,
Yeah, it
Jeff,
was
I
like-
hope you had a good time today. This has been a fun show.
Very much so.
Michelle, you were great. Ted, on your best behavior.
Looks
Don,
great too.
but
I
Don
like those
does
glasses, Michelle.
say, you know who. You know who is not a good word. That was on Jeff's list. He took out the you know who stuff. Tiberius, thanks for being on. And it was so great to see everybody as we close this wrap on our wrap party and have everybody join us again. Third Side Convo and its fun wrap party. See you
Jeff,
next
did you
week.
have fun?
Yes, he did.
I had a blast.
Yeah, yes. All right.
Tiberius, good bowling, man. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Very much.